Hey guys, today we're going to get started on page 231 of The Land of Stories. The twins clambered out of the moat and began running as fast as they could away from the castle. No guards or soldiers were chasing them. They all must have been inside the castle trying to put out the fire. Alex and Connor ran out of the town and were on their way toward the eastern gate of the Red Riding Hood kingdom in a matter of minutes. They only looked back once, and they saw that almost half the castle was now on fire. A trail of smoke filled the sky. Was the fourth or the fifth time that we've narrowly escaped death this week? Connor asked. Who was that woman? Alex asked. And why was she looking for the basket too? Thank goodness she found it, otherwise we might never have, Connor said. The most worrisome thought came to Alex's mind. Connor, you don't think someone else is collecting items for the wishing spell, do you? He had to think about it, but he could see it was just as troubling. She could see it was just as troubling for him to consider it as it was for her. I doubt it, Connor said. Think about all the trouble the man who wrote the journal went through to learn about it. I'd be shocked if someone else knew anything about it. Yeah, Alex nodded. They both knew it was very unlikely, but the possibility still lingered in their heads. A few hours later, the twins could see the eastern gate of the Red Riding Hood kingdom wall in the distance. The guards must have extinguished the fire in the castle because there was no more smoke filling the air. The night sky was its darkest just before dawn. As they reached the gate, they could see something moving near it. It spooked from the events earlier. Alex and Connor dove behind a bush and watched from afar. It was a man pacing near the gate. He was tall and seemed young. There was something oddly familiar about him. Is that Jack? Alex asked. Connor took a closer look. It is! What is he doing all the way out here? Suddenly a hooded figure came into view on the other side of the gate. Who is that? Connor asked. Jack carefully approached the gate. There was so much tension between him and whoever was on the other side of the gate that even the twins could feel it. He had been waiting for whoever that was all night long. Hello, Jack, said the hooded figure. Hello, Goldie, he said. And then the twins realized who it was. Goldilocks. She was wearing a dark maroon coat that they had seen her wear in the dwarf forest. How do they know each other? Alex asked. No idea, Connor said. I saw your dove, Jack said. I knew you must have sent it. I did, Goldilocks said. I knew you would recognize it. Doves are hard to train these days. The twins could tell from the way they were standing that Goldilocks and Jack had much to say to each other. But they said very little. Instead, they just stared into each other's eyes with their bodies pressed against the bars between them. I hate these bars between us, Jack said. It's either the bars of this gate or the bars of a prison cell, I'm afraid, Goldilocks said. I worry about you constantly, Jack said. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself, Goldilocks said. I wish you would let me come with you, Jack said. You know that I'd pack my things and leave right now if you would let me. No sense in ruining two lives, Goldilocks said. You'll find someone, someday. You've been saying that since you left, yet here I am, year after year, meeting you in the shadows, Jack said. She's the one he's in love with, Alex said, just putting the pieces together. She's the reason Jack won't marry Red Riding Hood. She's the girl the harp was telling us about. Oh, Connor said, this is just like a soap opera. Jack placed his hands on Goldilocks' hands. I swear, if I ever find the person who wrote you that letter, I'll kill them, Jack said. They're the reason for this whole mess. What's done is done, and it can never be undone, Goldilocks said. She and Jack were touching foreheads through the bars. One day, I'll clear your name, Jack said. I promise. And then we can be together. Clear my name, Goldilocks said, and backed away from him. I'm a fugitive, Jack. I steal. I run. I even kill when I have to. No one can clear me of that. It's who I am, and it's what I've become. It didn't start off as your fault, and you know it, Jack said. Goldilocks went silent. I love you, Jack said, and I know you love me. You don't have to say it back. I just know. I'm a criminal. You're a hero, Goldilocks said with teary eyes. A flame may love a snowflake, but they can never be together without each harming the other. Then let me melt, Jack said. He reached through the gate and he pulled Goldilocks close to him and they kissed. It was very passionate, pure, and long overdue. Alex became misty-eyed. Connor scrunched up his face as if he'd smelled something foul. Good thing those bars are between them, Connor said. Oh, hush, Alex said. Goldilocks pushed herself away from Jack. I have to go, she said. I have to be as far away from this place as I can by sunrise. Let me go with you, Jack begged. No, Goldilocks said. When will I see you next? A week? A month? A year? He asked. Porridge walked up behind Goldilocks. She leapt onto the horse's back and took a hold of the reins. Just wait for the dove, she said, and rode off into the night on her cream-colored horse. Jack watched her until she wasn't visible anymore. Suddenly, all the life in his body faded away, and once again he became the sad man the twins had met earlier. He sadly turned away from the gate and slowly headed home. I guess not every fairy tale character gets a happily ever after, Alex said. Alex and Connor ran up to the gate. It was locked, so they had to climb over it, and finally, making their way out of the Red Riding Hood kingdom, just as the sun started to rise. All right, I hope you enjoyed our reading today. Tomorrow, we will start chapter 11, The Troll and Goblin Territory.